Hello everyone, I'm Mike Allen from Bird Chatter, and this is Baseball History.
In St. Louis, the Cardinals were growing in popularity through the gateway to the West. St. Louis was still the westernmost team in the league. As most of Cardinals history, the 1920 Redbirds had their baseball hero as well. His name was Rogers Hornsby. Hornsby is regarded as one of the best hitters of all time. He had 2,900 hits and 301 home runs in his career. A .358 batting average is second highest in Major League history next to Ty Cobb's .367. He also won 2 Triple Crowns and batted over .400 3 times during his career. He is the only player to hit 40 home runs and bat .400 in the same season, 1922. His batting average for the 1924 season was .424. That's the highest single-season batting average to this day. The Cards were managed by the legendary future GM Branch Rickey and displayed new uniforms with the original Birds on the Bat logo. They also seem to be drawing more attention than their crosstown rivals, the St. Louis Browns, despite being nowhere near as good of a team as the Browns were at that time. And Branch Rickey had quite a lot to do with that.
The sale of the team to Philip de Catsby Ball in 1916 would portend big things ahead for the Browns, on and off the field. Ball was a multimillionaire ice and coal magnate who wasn't interested in making a profit with the Browns and rarely did. He viewed the Browns as a hobby, something to take his mind off work, meaning that, just like many of his players, he didn't always keep his eye on the ball. Never was that more clear than in his dealings with former ally turned antagonist Branch Rickey. Rickey had managed the Browns for several years before moving into a front office role. He was already developing a reputation as a visionary in a sport defined by stasis, but Rickey knew that there wasn't room in the Browns' office for more than one dominant voice.
Phil Ball gave Branch Rickey certain privileges to really run and direct the ball club. However, Branch Rickey still had to work through Phil Ball for all of his decision-making authority, and that frustrated Rickey. An opening came about with the St. Louis Cardinals, and Branch Rickey took advantage of an opportunity to negotiate out of his contract, and would not just change the Cardinals' fortunes, it would change the business of baseball forever.
After he returned from World War I in 1919, it was obvious either he or Ball would have to go, and it wasn't going to be the owner. Ball's war of ego with Rickey would quickly lead him into making a great short-term business deal that would have negative long-term effects on the organization. After the 1919 season, the Cardinals were through playing in their fire trap of a home stadium and came to Ball pleading to move into the Browns Stadium, the venerated Sportsman's Park, as their tenant. Ball agreed to take on the Cardinals, but the favorable terms outlined in the agreement ensured the Cardinals would pay minimal rent. With a favorable lease in place, they were free to sell their stadium and use the windfall to fund Rickey's longtime dream, developing a true farm system.
Branch Rickey had an eye for raw potential and undiscovered talent. He could find the player that would grow into the major league, pitcher or hitter, but he couldn't outbid, these more powerful and richer teams at auction for that same player that was, on the cusp of already being a major league talent. So the Cardinals had this idea to affiliate clubs of minor league teams to get talent to the major league level.
Branch Rickey had originally wanted to start the farm system with the Browns, and he had talked to Phil Ball about it. And he was, laying it out when he was with the Browns. And then he had the falling out with Phil Ball. It's the single most important turning point in Browns history when the Cardinals became co-tenants. Because the Browns got not much rent from the Cardinals, but the Cardinals got freed from that responsibility, and they were able to focus on baseball. And focus on baseball they did.
They create all these great players that can lead to the great teams of the Cardinals, starting in 26, 28, 30, 31, 34, and all the appearances in the World Series in the 40s. Branch Rickey creates what has become a foundation of that great franchise. So it really comes back to this one critical man and his actions and how they kind of turned the tide as he switched sides from the Browns to the Cardinals.
While the Cardinals spent on their future, Ball put massive amounts of the Browns' capital towards improvements to Sportsman's Park. He even publicly boasted that the updated stadium would host a World Series by 1926. However, stadiums don't win championships, teams do. Money poured into Sportsman's Park was money that couldn't be put into improving the roster, meaning the Browns were never able to get over the Bronx-shaped hump looming above them in the American League standings. Somewhat ironically, Ball's prediction did prove true. The World Series was played at Sportsman's Park in 1926. Of course, it wasn't the Browns who hosted, but their tenant, the Cardinals, upsetting the Yankees in 7 games.
With a 1-run lead at Yankee Stadium, Babe Ruth was caught stealing for the final out to deliver the first World Championship in Cardinal history.
That World Series victory by the Cardinals would flip the fan base in a city that has been loyal to the Browns for most of the 1920s. Ball's blunders would ensure St. Louis bled Cardinals red from then on out.
From Bird Chatter, I'm Mike Allen. Subscribe to our channel for all our compilation videos. And you can see all of our artwork we use by visiting us on Pinterest.